If we only told you about the expressions of the face and tail wags, we would be missing a pretty big component that helps you get that whole picture. In this segment, we are going to be talking about your dog's actual body and the postures that help tell a story as important as what we've already learned. One of the very first things I assess when looking at a dog is how their weight is distributed. Are they standing pretty square on all fours? Are they leaning their weight more predominantly on their front or hind legs? The answer to these questions is important for understanding their comfort level in their environment. So let's say your dog seems to be putting mostly equal weight on all four legs. This alone, without looking at the rest of the dog, doesn't guarantee that they are 100% comfortable or relaxed, but it does tell me that they are likely on the calmer side. Why is that? If a dog has their weight shifted to their hind legs, it's quite possible that they are keeping themselves prepared to put distance between them and the stimulus, which means that they may feel worried about something enough that they want to get away. On the flip side, if the dog has their weight shifted more to their front legs, this tells me that they are in an aroused state and may be ready for forward action. As we discussed about arousal before, it is just intensity of energy. If there is a squirrel or bunny across the yard and they are looking intently, they're likely just looking to sprint after them. In a situation where a dog is shifting their weight forward heavily and they are looking at something that they have a negative association with, such as strangers or other dogs, this may be a sign that they are preparing to be defensive. The weight shift is just a tell on what direction, if any, they are ready to move their body. But which way they are leaning isn't the only thing their posture can tell us. When dogs are uncomfortable or frightened, they can sometimes position themselves to come across as small in stature. This is in order to appear as non-threatening as possible to de-escalate whoever they are interacting with or is trying to interact with them. They may hunch their body at their hind end, shoulders, or both, and will likely lower their head. If a dog is leaning away and making themselves small, that's a good indicator that they need distance from whatever's in their space. Aside from their weight distribution and overall posturing, there are some other quick things we're going to talk about that you may see. One of them is a paw lift. As you can see, this often goes hand in hand with a lot of other signals we've already learned about. Shifting weight by picking up a paw is another way for a dog to show that they aren't a threat. Let's take a look at some of the other signals here. Dogs can also be so concerned about avoiding conflict with a person or another dog that they will roll over on their back, exposing their belly. Many people can mistake this for a pup wanting their tummy rubbed, which is, of course, the opposite of what they're looking for if they want us to back up. One of these dogs does indeed want their belly rubbed. The other is concerned about the interaction. Using what you've learned so far, can you see the differences here between these two dogs? Another thing we commonly hear owners bring up is that their dog's hackles go up in certain situations. Piloerection, where the hair on the back of the dog stands up, is another indicator of arousal. Some dogs will get this on one part of their back, but not others, and some will get it the whole way down like a mohawk. Many owners get concerned that this indicates that some sort of aggression could be on its way. But this can occur even during things like greeting new dogs, where there isn't necessarily fear, but instead overstimulation. This level of arousal isn't inherently dangerous. However, giving a dog a break from play if we see this isn't a bad idea. Some dogs aren't always the best at regulating these feelings on their own. And even if we're pretty sure the dog is just too stimulated, providing a moment to calm back down can help prevent any negative things that may come from that mounting energy. Also, we can see hackles go up when a dog is uncomfortable, so you'll want to ask yourself what else is happening in the environment and how your dog feels about it. Most people know about fight or flight, but did you know that those are only 2 of the 4 responses to a perceived threat? The other are freeze and fidget. You'll learn a bit about fidgeting and the other ways that may manifest in some of the future videos, but freezing is an often missed signal from a dog under stress. Freezing, as I referenced, can happen pretty quickly. This is when the dog is aroused or frightened and their entire body stops moving. It's like someone hit the pause button on your dog. In some circumstances, it can last fractions of a second and will either escalate or de-escalate depending on what happens during the freeze. Now that you know some of the movements a dog can display as a whole with their body, let's move on to the next segment to learn about calming signals and displacement behaviors. Take breaks going through these videos if you need them. This may be a lot of information to digest, and it'll take time and practice for you to become fluent.